This is Erik Entrana. Having lived the peaceful life of a monk for as long as he can remember, Erik decided it was time for more. Having told the High Monk his ambition to leave Entrana, the High Monk cursed Erik and banished him to the corner of Entrana. Against the odds, Erik unlocked his second chunk, and now the adventure continues. Fritz, how's it going?
Erik, child, wear your monk robes.
Oh, Fritz, the High Monk cursed me. All I wanted was an adventure, and all I got was banished.
I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took molten glass to the knee.
Wait, what? You were an adventurer?
Yes, dear boy, cursed, like you. However, after my accident, I can no longer make my own molten glass. Now I spend my days just here, wait for kind adventurers like yourself to sell me some molten glass, so I can finally escape.
Fritz, I had no idea. Always wondered why you weren't in monk robes, to be fair. Don't worry though, Fritz. I'll sell you some molten glass.
Thank you, Erik. Just prepare yourself. The light orb is not easy to make.
Welcome back to Erik Entrana, episode 2. We have a new chunk to explore, but first things first, let's put away that rake. That rake cost a good 15 GP, I ain't wasting nothing. With the rake safe and sound, let's discuss the new chunk. Before getting into the new chunk tasks, let's have a look at the rules. So for anyone not familiar with One Chunk rules, here's a quick overview. First things first, I need to complete all the tasks in a chunk. Now, what is a task? There are 3 categories of tasks. The first category being skill tasks. Skill tasks being the highest level requirement in that area which I can complete. For example, if there is a pickaxe available and there's gold ore about, I will need to get 40 mining to mine that gold ore. The second category of tasks is best in slot. For each new chunk unlocked, I will have to acquire the best in slot items for melee, ranged and magic, which are available to me in that chunk. And the final category being quests and achievement diaries. This will be completing quests and achievement diaries once they become available in each chunk. This does include the partial completion of quests. Now moving on to the good stuff, this chunk's tasks. First task we can complete is cook a stew. Cooking a stew takes 25 cooking. And the second task of the chunk is craft an empty light orb. This is what Fritz was alluding to earlier, and is going to take a whopping 87 crafting to craft. And then just confirming there are no quests and no achievement diaries that can be progressed or completed. Only one more thing to confirm, and that is I will not be going down into the Entrana dungeon. Reasons being, when you go down there is no way to return to Entrana unless you come through deep wilderness all the way back to Porcerim. With all that now dealt with, let's continue Erik's adventure. Right, before we get stuck right into the tasks, let's go and explore our newly unlocked chunk. Let's go and have a look in this house just to the north of me. Maybe we'll be able to find something. I know there's a glass blowing pipe in there. There's also a range. Let's have a look at the drawers, see if there's anything in there. Nothing as expected. Let's have a look at these drawers. I'm not expecting anything. I think this is part of a clue step. Nope. And let's have a quick look upstairs. We've got a few beds, we've got a bowl which we'll need to make a stew, can't forget that. What else is around here? Oh, we've got a bookcase. Is there anything we can read? Nope, nothing useful. And with that, let's go back downstairs. There's a little garden out here, and I think we can pick some potatoes, which again we'll need to remember for that stew. Let's just pick a couple now, just because we can. And that's 6 potatoes picked. Let's drop these weeds just in case we need some more room. And now let's go talk to our buddy Fritz. Hello adventurer, welcome to the Entrana Furnace. Yep, we've been here before, Fritz. Please show me what to do. I'll speed through some of the dialogue until he gives me a bucket. Fritz was just explaining to make molten glass I need a bucket of sand and some seaweed from the other side of the island. That seaweed then needs to be cooked on a range to make soda ash. With the bucket of sand and the soda ash, go to the furnace and that will make your molten glass. Just having a look in these crates to see if there's anything that was useful, but nothing out of any of them. A couple more crates up here to have a look into. One of them, nope, nothing, and oh, there's one over here. And I can't reach it. On to the next. 7 cooking to cook a potato. That's ridiculous. Oh, and there's a fishing rod on the table. However, I cannot get fishing bait, so I can't fish. And then nothing of interest on the fishing platform. And a quick search in the monastery. There is a bookshelf, and there's nothing I'd ever want to read. Quick look upstairs in the monastery. And there's a monk, and there's a piano. Let's play the piano. And enough of that now. Moving on across the bridge to the north side of Entrana, you have the Law Altar. There is a chicken coop. You have 2 unicorns and the phoenix. There's a cave monk, obviously to warn you that if you go down the ladder, you are not coming back to Entrana via that ladder. And the last thing to see is this black bear over here, which is level 19, and I'll probably need to kill to make a stew. Oh, and there's some non-important seaweed in this corner also. Right, let's get on with the first task. 25 cooking to make a stew. At level 1 cooking, I can only cook raw chicken, which only grants 30 XP per cooked chicken. To get to 25 cooking, I will need 7,842 experience, and that equates to 262 cooked chickens needed. And that's first level on the account, 2 strength, and there's 3 strength and 4 combat. As I'm going to use as much inventory space as possible, I'm going to throw this lamp on crafting. I'm also going to be burying some bones as well to try and get a few prayer levels on the way. And there's first prayer level on the account. And there's 4 strength. And my first full invent of raw chicken. Let's see how many levels we get with the first inventory. Burnt. XP. Level 2 cooking. Beautiful. Let's go again. Burnt. This is ridiculous. Burnt. Come on, this is... No, I'm stepping away. There can't be this many in a row. Are you joking me? Nah. Right, I'm stepping away. This is jokes. What is going on? Let's try putting a raw chicken. Maybe it's trying to burn it on purpose. Hey, second cooked chicken. And the third. Back to burning them. And another one. And that's 3 cooking. Eventually. After 1,000 burnt chicken. Burnt. Cooked. Burnt. Cooked. Can we get another cooking level out of the last 4? Yay, level 4 cooking. Last 3. Burnt. And cooked. Well, how many is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cooked chicken out of 28. That is ridiculous. Well, back to chicken slaughtering. And there's 5 strength. Oh, and there's a random on the account, mysterious old man. Let's finish his chicken kill, pick up the most important raw chicken, and see what the guy's got to offer. And he gives us a sapphire. Great, but nothing I can do over right now, so that is just going to be a drop. And there's 2 attack on the account, and combat level 5. And there's 3 prayer, 3 attack to match the prayer, and there's a little sneaky 11 hit points, 4 attack, and 6 combat. Second full event of raw chicken. Let's see if this goes any better. And that got me to cooking level 8, a lot better than the first performance. 5 attack. That now means I can wield steel weaponry. Woo-hoo! And a total level of 50, little added bonus. Level 4 prayer, and that unlocks burst of strength. Back onto strength training with 6 strength and 7 combat. Third inventory of chickens. Let's see what we get out of this one. And we finish this batch with 11 cooking. 14 levels to go. After 11 cooking, I've gone a bit off piece to see how this works. So previously I tried cooking a potato and it said I needed a higher cooking level. Now I've got that cooking level, of course I eat the potato, but let's try cooking them, see what happens. I also got a little cheeky potato seed in there as well, not that we can grow it. And for 15 XP, I'll be going right back to chickens. And there's 5 prayer, 8 strength, 12 hit points, 9 strength, and a cheeky 8 combat. Onto my next batch of chicken cooking. And at the end of that we have 13 cooking. That's 6 prayer, 10 strength, and another batch of chickens. Which gets me 15 cooking, 10 levels to go, 11 strength, and 9 combat. Hours into this chicken slaughter, and they're starting to become a bit inspirational. I mean, you've got chickens that fight against you, knowing their max hit is 0, never going to hit you, but they still try and fight every time. They could just flee, but they don't. But I'm sure they used to have a max hit. And there's 12 strength. But yeah, is it just me? Or did they used to be able to hit at least a 1? And another full invent of raw chicken to cook. And by the end of that, that's 17 cooking, 13 hit points, 13 strength, and 10 combat. And yet another full invent of raw chicken. And by the end of that, that's 18 cooking, 14 strength, and another full invent of raw chicken. These are coming in thick and fast now. And that got us 20 cooking and 75 total. 15 strength, 6 attack, 7 attack, 8 attack, and onto another invent of chicken. And that finishes on 22 cooking, 3 levels to go. 9 attack, 12 combat, 10 attack, and onto another invent of chicken. Which gets us 23 cooking, 15 hit points, 16 strength, and 13 combat. Lucky for some. Could this be the last batch of chicken? Nope, that stops at 24 cooking. 1 level to go, 17 strength, the last combat level of this grind. As these final chickens are being cooked, let's just take a moment to remember the chickens of this great slaughter. And there it is, 25 cooking achieved. You can now cook stew and salmon. I'm quite positive you can't make a stew with chicken meat, so let's go and get that bear meat. And this is the level 19 black bear. It's currently kicking my ass. Cooked chicken's coming in clutch. And there it is, the bear meat. Let's just hope we don't burn it now. And here we are, back in the house. So to make a stew, I need to grab that bowl on the top floor. Then need to go and fill it with water, which I'll go and get from this handy fountain right outside. Now, if I use a potato on the bowl of water and the bear meat on the bowl of water as well. Oh no, I need to cook it first. Let's quickly cook that. Shouldn't burn, I've got high enough cooking level. Beautiful. Use that cooked meat in the bowl of water. That gives you an uncooked stew. cook the stew, and that's us. What a nightmare. Let's try cooking it with chicken. I can't see a reason why it wouldn't work. I mean, I've had a chicken stew before, so let's give it a quick go. Save me killing that bear again. Potato on the bowl of water, cooked chicken, and it works. Ooh, I've got 3 chances. And that is a bowl of stew made. 1 task completed. Now that only leaves the dreaded craft a light orb left. Before we get started, let's leave the stew with Fritz. Now let's go and claim our bucket. After some dialogue, you can use the bucket I gave you earlier. Oh, unfortunately, I do not have the bucket. Do I look like I'm made of buckets? You can buy another one from the general store. You're joking me. Fritz, I do not have access to a general store. Right. Well, unfortunately, I need a bucket to craft because my only crafting method is blowing glass. My only thought is the farmer could sell buckets of compost which I could empty. Let's go check it out, I suppose. Mr. Farmer, who got in trouble in last episode, can you sell me anything? Let's have a look. A bucket of compost. Is there anything else? Just a bucket for cheaper? Nope. Bucket of compost it is. That will be 35 coins. Oh, okay. Well, looks like we are going back to selling vials, back to the Herbalore store. This time with world hopping included. The first goal is to get 13 buckets. And with the final sale of these 2 vials, I now have enough to buy my first bucket. Let's go over there and purchase it. Can you sell me something? Yes, you can. A bucket of compost, please. 35 coins. Thank you very much. Now armed with my first bucket, the crafting grind starts. This is a breakdown of crafting in Entrana. You start here, the sand pit. Fill your bucket with sand. You then travel all the way through the monastery, over the bridge, down back to the west side of the island, through past the ladder, down to this part where you collect seaweed. You spend your time collecting seaweed, filling up your inventory. After you're done, you walk all the way back past the chicken coop, back through the monastery, through to the range. You then cook your seaweed on the range to make soda ash. Once you have your bucket of sand and your soda ash, you make your way to the furnace to create molten glass. At this point, I'll be selling molten glass to Fritz to get coins to buy some more buckets. Soon as it's finished, I'll be going back to the sand pit and repeating this process over and over again until I have 13 buckets. And that's the first bucket filled of sand. Now collecting seaweed. There are only so many seaweed spawns, so it does include world hopping every time. Now with a full invent of seaweed, we now go to cooking it. Cooking seaweed will give you the soda ash, which we then take to the furnace with a bucket of sand to create molten glass and our first bit of crafting experience on the account. I am now selling my molten glass back to Fritz to get 20 gold pieces and repeat the process until I make enough coins to have 13 buckets in my invent. And here is bucket number 2. And there is the first crafting level on the account, crafting level 2. And another bucket, up to 5 buckets now, 3 crafting, now at 7 buckets, over halfway there, and that's 4 crafting. 5 crafting, now up to 11 buckets, and that makes 13 buckets. Beautiful. And with that, Erik begins his crafting venture. Find out more in the next episode of Erik Entrana.
Tell me, how is that foolish adventurer getting on now?
He's managed to make the stew.
If you tell me it's because that farmer mug did not destroy them potato crops,
Yeah, well, did forget to destroy the potato crop, so we did have a potato to make the stew. But
nothing. If you want something done round here, you have to do it yourself. At least he'll have to plead with that Fritz for that one bucket they have to share between them. He may also have one of them knee accidents.
Your Highness.
What? What could possibly be so important?
The, farmer monk may have sold buckets to the adventurer.
No! Right, that does it. Find a replacement for that farmer monk.
But where am I going to find where to get it?
I don't care. I'm going to fix this. No more is that farmer monk ruining my plans.
Hello, yes, who is it? Oh, Your Highness, how may I...